Hi everyone, it's Abelinius here, and I'm here to hopefully share with you some fun moments in the brand new game called Cairn by the Game Bakers Studio. The game itself is a simulator described simulator about well climbing, as you can clearly see by the background picture here. I've been sitting in the menu for quite a while now, taking in the view. But yeah, without further delay, I guess we can slowly jump in and we'll see what fun comes out of it. I've played the demo of Cairn yesterday actually to get hyped for the fuller release, and I know a little bit about the game, but yeah, it's going to be the first time that I play the full experience, so to say. And yeah, we've got three difficulty levels. Ooh, that's a cool effect. Wow, that's quite terrific. Alright, let's not get hung up on that. This is the easiest one, most likely, with some rewind options. Then this is going to be the standard difficulty, I guess, and the free solo difficulty, of course, being the hardest. No saves, death is final. Assist options are unavailable. Yeah, not sure yet what that means, but I guess as the name describes, it will be a climbing simulation similar to the free solo experience. And I can tell you a little bit about that uh, soon, but first let's start the game with the normal difficulty, I guess. Yeah. So, I myself am a climber, so
All I ever wanted was
all right.
to
Let's
touch
listen
eternity
to the
for an
narrative a
instant,
bit.
to reach one of those rare moments of bliss where everything seems in its place and you feel you're part of a whole. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Climbot, go ahead, answer.
That's the scene
Hey,
from the
Arthur,
demo.
it's Chris. Do you ever pick up the phone?
Hi, Chris. Sorry. Look, I've not really got a whole lot of time to chat right now.
Absolutely. Just touching base to say we're good to go here. And I gotta tell you, we're all fired up. Rooting for you to become the first human to set foot on the summit of Kami.
Yeah, sure. Okay, gotta go. Just call me back. Come on, Climbot. I'm ready. Let's do this.
The mountain is calling, but even veteran climbers need a warm-up. Reach the highest holds on walls. 1, 2, 3 to learn the basics. Yep, that was the scene from the demo, and this climbing gym looks to be quite the same as well, I believe. Yeah, so as I've already tried to explain, I myself am a climber. Maybe not the kind of climber that is fully experienced, fully equipped to do anything to climb the highest mountains, but I'm a passionate climber, and I've been mostly doing the climbing in a climbing gym so far. The type of climbing gym like this one right here, where you can see there are some artificial walls with some artificial holes as well. I've been doing some rock climbing too a couple of times. Um, yeah, and I really love this sport. It brings me a lot of joy. It's a lot of fun. and very interesting as well, in comparison to, I don't know, fitness, doing regular gym workouts. The climbing brings a lot to the table. It's always something new. It's always something fun that keeps you busy, keeps you entertained, and you never do repetitive things, I would say. Yeah, and during this time of playing and recording this experience, I will try to bring some experience of mine into it, to share with you a little bit about what I know about climbing, um, what you may find interesting, and such. Yeah. So, first of all, yeah, the climbing that we can see right here, the type of climbing is called bouldering, and it's basically about a preset set of holes that builds up into a route like this one here. You can see those artificial climbing holes in the blue color. They build up a boulder, so to say. And the idea is simply to use those boulders and, yeah, start climbing them to reach the top hold. Yeah, and in this game, what you are doing is using a specific limbs to move over those holds and try to reach the top. So I myself am actually quite impressed with what the studio has done in order to resemble the experience of climbing. And I'm about to reach the top. Let's grab it from the top and hold the right mouse button to jump down. Yeah, first wall behind us. So let's proceed with the next one. Yeah, from what I've seen in the demo, the game is doing a great job at resembling what the experience is about and how the movements are, what you need to do and think about when moving through, yeah, a route, be that the climbing gym or a real route on real rock. So yeah, for me as a climber, it's a lot of fun because it makes me feel like I'm doing climbing too. And yeah, at the same time, I'm also here at home, not needing to risk anything because this sport is also about certain risks. But I guess all sports are, so I don't really need to go into the details of that. Yeah, we're going to be slowly moving through, not the best hold here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, trying to focus a little bit here. Bang, we've got the top of the second route. Jumping down. This is pretty much a safe operation also in the real world because when you have those climbing gyms and routes like this one, for example, I cannot really say for sure how high this artificial wall would be, but let's say that Ava, our character, is about 1.7 meters high, then this wall would be at about maybe 4 meters. Jumping from such height to onto the floor wouldn't be necessarily hurtful or risky because those floor mats that you can see here are made of pretty nice cushioning material, which is quite big, quite thick, and it absorbs the fall quite well. But those walls right here, like those ones, for example, these are way higher, and oh, you can actually see right there. I think with a tap I can maybe bring this up closer. Yeah, this is the equipment that's used for aiding in the climb, and for walls this high, for example, you would normally use a rope to climb. We're going to be doing that on the real rocks. And yeah, with those points of aidance, you'll have, yeah, sort of steps through the route that you're going to be climbing. Yeah, enough talking. Let's get over to the next route. Pick up something on the way. And let's start climbing the next route. So in climbing, what you want to look for is, of course, some stable places to place your limbs to. That's a bad limb. Okay, let's try to extend. Maybe she'll jump a little. No. Yeah, that's the foot I wanted to move. Then up. Maybe let's place it here. Let's use this hold. Yeah, then let's use this foothold right here. And reach here. There's a nice foot there. Stretch. Yeah. That's a very useful mechanic to try to reach further than you can actually statically. So right here you can see that I cannot reach the top of this hold right now, but if I try to reach, she won't be jumping, I guess. But yeah, normally you would want to dynamically move to such a hold in order to grab some more reach and yeah, make the climb a bit easier for yourself. Okay, moving slow and steady, that's what the climbing is all about. You don't want to make any hasty decisions that may cost you your health or even life sometimes. Yep, and always looking for a great position, good holds that can hold you quite well without using too much of your strength. Oh, that was a bad grab. We're going to be improving that in a moment. Yeah, here. And maybe
So
try to
close.
reach. Yeah, that was nice. That was a very good reach. Let's go like this, maybe try to grab onto it. Okay, I don't see a good foot here, so let's maybe try to quickly proceed and reach here. Exactly, nice. Now we're going to be placing a piton, which is also assistive device that you can use to go off belay, which
break.
means you're stopping the climb. This is the most efficient way to rest on a climb, although yeah, you wouldn't want to do that if you want to have a full ascent, a completed ascent, because in some types of climbing this is considered a failed attempt at climbing if you need to get a resting position on a piece of aiding device equipment before reaching the top. Yeah, but here we've been at the top. We've managed to get to the final hold. There's no more. So I could have put this protective gear or assistance gear, and now we can slowly rappel to the bottom. And we can use our body here to collect the piton and proceed with the next section. Yeah, so I think I've selected the setting that allows me to control, to manually select the limbs. I haven't really tried that yet, but I think it's going to be worth to do that. The automatic assistance with the limb selection in this game works really well from what I've seen in the demo, but it sometimes messes up a bit and makes you alternate between the same limbs over and over until you find a better position. It's not always the optimal way to move, but yeah, never failed me in the demo, so yeah, we'll see how the manual selection of limbs works, and later on decide whether we want to do that or not. Yeah, I picked up some coins, some spare change before, and we can choose to buy something here. Guess I'm going to be taking the protein bar. It's going to be useful later on. And yeah, we've completed the part of climbing in the climbing gym, so now we can proceed with the mountain climbing. Yeah, one cool feature about this game is this overview mode, so to say. Not sure what it's called for real, but you can press tab when you're under the rock, and you can gain some elevation to scout ahead of the route and plan ahead a little bit, which is very useful. It's a great skill to have when climbing, be that climbing in the climbing gym or in the rock formations. Yeah, so here we're going to be looking for the best or the optimal route to climb, which is going to be a route where we have multiple ledges available to our needs, because that's what climbing is about. You're looking for places where you can move optimally, so to say, without using too much strength, and the better the holds, the more capable you are to do so. Yeah, so this is a pretty straightforward route. We can start right here, proceed over those ledges right there, then here traverse a little bit to the right, where we have some more ledges, and we'll be good to go. I don't even think we're going to need much protection gear, or the assistance gear, those pitons. I'm not sure what to call them actually. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's see, I want to see how to utilize this manual limb selection mode to the best of my capability. And it's not going to be simple, especially when we're going to be in situations that will require me to move fast, so let's not do that at the moment. And let's just use the automatic limb selection. Yeah, so far we've seen pretty simple climbing techniques, nothing too fancy. I'm just trying to move in a way that makes Ava not get tired too quickly. And in climbing, the general rule of thumb is the maintenance of the 4 contact points. So you can see right here, I hope that she won't get mad at me for doing this. I'm trying to spread my 4 limbs as best as possible, so that, yeah, I maintain this sort of a box on the wall. So yeah, if you can imagine, my 4 limbs make up for 4 contact points, and you can draw a shape in between all 4 of them. The more the shape resembles a square, the more likely you are to not be getting tired quickly when climbing. It's not always possible, obviously, because the routes aren't always as nice for you and forgiving. But yeah, that's the general rule of thumb. Now let's try to place our legs right here, because we're going to be moving left a little bit. move up, nice and steady. Okay, the game advises me to put a piton right here, although I don't think it was necessary. But yeah, it's still part of a tutorial, I guess. They are telling here that you should put the pitons as much as possible, even though the amount of pitons that you have is limited, but it's good for resting a little bit. And if you're on a route that requires a lot of strength, then yeah, you'll be needing that. As you could see, the Ava, our main character, has glown green a little bit, and that's an indicator that yeah, we used some stamina for this climb, even though it wasn't much, but we used that. And when you go off belay on a piton, you get to rest fully, so you can proceed with the climb really easily. Yeah, and we're going to do that. Let's not waste any more time. Let's try to look for those ledges that we want. That wasn't the best. Let's try to spread our legs a little bit. That's going to help us with maintaining the best shape of this 4 contact point rule. Yeah, move across this ledge. This is a so-called traverse, where you don't proceed on the route vertically, but rather horizontally. Okay, we can grab this side right here. Have a nice ledge right there. I don't think I can reach with my leg this far, so let's stop right here. Let's move here, move the leg here. Okay. Not the best set of holds here. Let's try to place our leg anywhere. Maybe here. Not the best, but yeah, will do. Okay, let's put it on the left. Now here. Okay, Ava is slowly getting tired here. Let's look for a better position. Okay, now we can shake off a little bit. It was a quite nice position, so we can press Q in order to shake off. Shake off what is called a pump. So when you're using your strength, your forearms get tired in climbing a lot. And yeah, this is really common. It's like a thing that is not something you can escape. And stopping on a climb in a good position to... Ooh, I slipped there a little bit. Stopping on a climb in a good position that doesn't use too much strength allows you to leave one arm hanging, for example, for a little bit. Sometimes even use your legs to fit them into positions that allow you to let both your arms hang free. Those positions are really great in climbing because you can shake off the pump, gain back a little bit of strength. Not much, of course, because it's not resting as if you were, I don't know, laying or sitting under a rock face and waiting for your strength to come back. But in climbing, it makes a huge difference. Yeah, you don't need to do that much in the game, I guess, because yeah, when you're climbing good ledges, right, like I'm doing right here, Ava doesn't seem to get as pumped or as tired. It's only when her limbs start to shake, it's a nice indicator that yeah, she's getting tired, and you should yeah, try to rest a little bit before proceeding. Otherwise you're going to be facing a risk of slipping or even falling down. And you wouldn't want to be falling. Let's see if she can extend. She can't. Let's put our leg a little bit higher. And we've summited the very first rock face in the game. Okay. Yeah, so those are the checkpoints, so to say, where on the medium difficulty you can save the game and also set up a bivouac. We can take a look at it, I guess, if you want to see how it looks like. There are a couple of actions that you can do in a bivouac. So first of all, you can see your equipment. As you can see, we're equipped with a bunch of stuff like water, some chocolate bars, the protein bar that we've picked up on the in the vending machine, some instant noodles, medicine, climbing tape, which is very useful, that I can go into it also later a little bit. Yeah, and some other stuff, so yeah, I don't think we need to go into much detail here. When we're going to be needing that, we will do that. We can check weather. That's something that I didn't see in the demo. Not sure if it was available or not. I guess it's going to be pretty useful to estimate whether it's worth to climb some rock face or not. In good weather like we have right now, when it's sunny and dry, it's going to be way easier than in raining weather, I imagine. So that's nice. We can cook some food because we have 3 need indicators, I would say, in the top left corner. First one is hunger, the second one is thirst, and the third one, not pretty sure what that is. It's not our health, because our health is of course this huge health bar at the top. So yeah, we're going to have to see what that is. Have some piton repair gear here. So far I've been lucky, I guess, because I haven't lost any pitons that I've used so far. But yeah, when we use a piton, there's a chance that we're going to break it and we will have to collect the scraps from it in order to get it repaired later in our tent or our bivouac. Okay, we can go into the taping of fingers in climbing. As you can see here, we have the tape that we saw in the backpack. And in climbing, what you can do with your fingers is you can tape them with this tape. It's a huge deal, especially when climbing for a longer amount of time, or it's also quite helpful for people with weaker fingers, because taping them correctly can increase the structural capacity of how much weight you can lay on your fingers, so to say. But also when you are climbing, you're going to be using your skin, right? That goes without saying, pretty self-explanatory. You're climbing on your fingers, on your hands, so you're going to be scraping off your skin. And when you're climbing for a longer amount of time, the skin is going to deteriorate quite well, and taping the parts of your fingers that get worse over time is going to help you a little bit. But it's not always good. I myself, for example, would never tape the tips of our fingers, because when you tape your finger that way, you're going to lose the advantage of using your fingerprints for climbing, which they don't seem like much, right? When you look at your fingertips. Your fingerprints, you would think, if you have no climbing experience, that it doesn't matter whether you use your fingertips, fingerprints, or if you have them taped. But it makes a huge amount of deal in higher class climbing, I would say, because you're looking to gain as much advantage in climbing as possible. And those tiny little nooks or cracks in between your fingerprints, they are what make your grip better. And if you tape them, you're going to cover that essentially, right? And tape isn't honestly too grippy. It doesn't have texture, at least as much as your fingers on their own. But yeah, in this case, it looks like our hands are in excellent condition. I don't even think that we're going to be needing to tape anything. The game doesn't say anything about that. But yeah, I guess they tell you that the hands are in excellent conditions because maybe you can get hurt, like on the hand on your right here. That's what taping is also good for. Yeah, you can sometimes lose your skin quite heavily on the climb, and you can even be left with some skin flaps hanging off. You don't want the skin flaps to be hanging loose because it's going to cause a lot of pain when you're going to try to climb like that. So climbing tape is also helping you with that. And I think I'm going to end this recording here. We've reached the first saving point, the checkpoint. We can take in the view one more time before we go. And yeah, I hope to continue this adventure with this game, with explaining you what climbing is about, what I know about climbing, how I feel about climbing, and also sharing with you the hands-on experience of playing this game for the first time. So yeah, I hope it's going to turn out quite well, and we'll see how it goes later on. So for now, thanks for joining in, take care, and see you around.